And welcome everyone to the Gold and Silver Club weekly commodities review for the 11th of September 2015, presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. So just a quick one before we get started. Welcome everyone. Hi there, Andy, Edward, Igor. Hi, Casson. Hey, Chris. Good to see you. Hi there, T1 and Mark. And also hello to Adinda. Okay, guys. So very quick check. You can all hear me okay, and you can all see the presentation. Okay. Yeah, great stuff, Igor. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Adinda. Yep. Excellent. Okay, great stuff, guys. We shall get started. Lots to cover today. So again, just welcome to today's Gold and Silver Club weekly commodities review presented by the Gold and Silver Club. We'll be reviewing the latest developments in the commodities markets. We'll be analysing the week's performance. The live session will be covering an overview of the commodities markets. We'll be reviewing the top trades of the week. We'll cover live market commentary, technical analysis. And of course, if you've got any questions at all, just put those in the chat, okay? And we can go through those during the course of the session. Try to put those on, if possible, during the technical part so we can actually have a look with reference to the actual charts at that point. So let me introduce you to the Gold and Silver Club. For those of you who are new to our sessions, the Gold and Silver Club is an international commodities trading research advisory group. We specialize in the precious metals, the energies and the agricultural markets. The Gold and Silver Club is recognized as the leading go-to authority on commodities. And as internationally respected experts, our analysis and opinions on the metals, the energies, the agricultural markets, they're routinely sought by major financial television channels, publications including Bloomberg, Reuters, CNN, Global Banking and Finance Review, and the Wall Street Journal, to name a few. Our team of experts has advised and taught technical analysis, fundamental research, and portfolio management to more than 75,000 private and institutional clients worldwide. For more information on the Gold and Silver Club and our expertise, please do just visit our website at www.thegoldandsilverclub.com. Okay, super. Right, we shall get into it. So we'll have a look at the price of gold right now. We're currently trading at $1,107 an ounce. So it's been a nice breakdown this week on gold. I hope some of you caught some of the sell shorts that we were looking at just from last week's session. So it's been quite a lucrative week on the gold market, which we'll talk you through now on our top trades. Okay, so the top trades of the week using the Gold and Silver Club's signature trading strategies. So last week we were looking at a sell short after the non-farm payroll on gold here. So we had a good opportunity here. So if you remember, we looked at this head and shoulders pattern. We're starting to break down. We had a mother candle to breach. We started to breach that also on Friday after non-farm payroll. We consolidated this week and we finally got a really nice breakdown and follow through just on Wednesday. So that was a 170-point gain to the sell side. We broke down really nicely. We also entered a second position on that because it'd been consolidating. There was an opportunity just to get in on the tighter timeframes as well to add to this position, able to move our initial stop loss to lock in some profits on the first trade, took on a second trade, and that also produced a 140-point gain. So we got some really nice profitable trades on gold, took advantage of that consolidation and eventual breakdown. Oil this week, it's been quite choppy. It's consolidated a lot, but we managed to get quite a nice entry just midweek here where we got a sell just from a key level of resistance. Nice tight risk to reward on that, and took Brent crude oil just down for 240 points. You can see just ricocheting between support and resistance. There's been some good day trade opportunities. We've got several open positions running at the moment as we head into next week. I'll talk you through those now. We'll go over to the technicals. Okay, so let me just talk you through some live technical analysis here. Again, if there's any questions or comments, do just post those into the chat. Okay, so we'll move over to the technicals. So first of all, let me just talk you through gold first. So we can see here, let's take it out to the larger time frames. You can see here we've got this overhead resistance channel, which we came into at the beginning, or about midway through August. After we'd had a decent rally, we came all the way up to the upper end of this trend channel, found resistance. It was the fourth bounce off that zone, and we consolidated last week, and then we just broken down nicely within the overall context of this downward trend. So you can see this head and shoulder pattern sitting on the trend line. Also, we had horizontal resistance. There were a lot of this is like a textbook setup. We had also V-shaped reversal pattern, horizontal support, and we just broke down really nicely. We consolidated this week, couldn't get above resistance. We were ricocheting between support and resistance, then we broke down. Now, what do we need to know moving forward about gold? Okay, it's a few points to note at the moment. So we are now at another trend channel. So we just draw out, gold follows trend channels really well. So if you just draw out this trend channel on the left, you'll see, okay, very clear, right? You're seeing this very clear trend channel. So we do have another area of support that if we breach this zone, we could be heading lower here for gold. You are, though, just if you have a look at the left side of the chart, you're coming into a lot of previous resistance around the 1100 zone. That's also a psychological level. These round numbers on gold. It's a psychological zone. So you've got previous support. Looks like it's going to turn resistance, and we're building up a base. Now we've got FOMC statement next Wednesday, and I'll talk you through opportunities to trade that very shortly, but with the gold and silver club. But essentially at the moment, we are sitting on the sidelines with gold because we want to see what the next major move will be. We've taken advantage of this really nice sell short opportunity over the last week. We're a major support zone. If you're selling into gold from a break of 1100 at the moment, you just need to be out of that trade, I would say fairly nimble, just prior to FOMC next Wednesday, because that is likely to be a very volatile announcement. It's likely to be a hugely profitable announcement as well for gold against the US dollar, but you just want to make sure you've got some capital on the sidelines so you can get involved in that trade once we get a breakout. Typically on FOMC we consolidate, and the September one is a huge one historically, and also this year in particular, the September FOMC statement on next Wednesday. So make sure you've got that in your diary. Big circle around that date. Okay, so just again, Wednesday the 16th, I'm sure a lot of you are aware, is the FOMC statement that moves the metals like nobody's business. So we're about to get some huge moves on the precious metals next Wednesday. So for the time being, staying neutral on gold, staying on the sidelines. And what we're doing, we're awaiting the next setup here, which we want to trade on the FOMC next week. There might be some short-term opportunities here around this zone, but it could be short-lived, particularly as we tend to consolidate prior to FOMC. Now, if we move over and just have a look at silver, silver also struggling with its resistance zone. Very clear overhead trend channels. It's been consolidating about a week now. There is the potential, I would say, for silver to pop lower here. We're just consolidating. We could just have a nice pop, but it's got a lot of support just at the left of the chart. So I would suggest we need to break through this support. You're getting a bit of a pennant forming as well. We could pop just lower here prior to FOMC next week. It's just consolidating. The big play I see this morning at the moment and from yesterday is copper. Copper had a really decent rally. Copper, you've got some correlation with oil there as well. It's right at the upper end of its trend channel. You've got a nice clear rejection, 3 days, and now it's coming down. And I think once this triggers and starts really building up momentum, it will come down thick and fast to the lower end of its trend line. So that is a little bit of a tip for you there. Copper is looking really good for some downside movement here. So just keep an eye on that for copper. It looks good. It's come up to the upper end of the trend channel. It's starting to follow, to sell off here. If we just take out the last couple of days of lows, we're bound to come back down to the lower end of the trend channel. That will also confluence with weakness in oil. So a bit of a tip for you there. You really want to make sure you are on it with this copper trade because it's a good opportunity. Also looking over to oil as well. If we have a look at light sweet crude oil, we've still got this pennant formation. So oil has been super to sell during this whole downward trend, just ricocheting between support and resistance, staircase patterns. So you've just seen consolidate, breakdown, consolidate, breakdown, consolidate, breakdown. And that's been fantastic. Just for a day trader perspective, it's brilliant. When oil does this, it's very straightforward trading, just to take advantage of that. Now it's had the big breakout to the upside. We caught some momentum to the upside. It got overextended to the upside. We caught the momentum down. Now this zone at the moment is tricky, okay? It's more difficult. You're in more of a challenging zone as we come towards the end of the pennant. So now it's decision time for oil. I would expect a rotation potentially back down to the lower end of the pennant today. If we do break out from the resistance, we could be in for quite a decent breakout. Got overhead trend channel, supportive trend channel. So we really want to see which way this is going to break. It was either going to have a big breakout this afternoon, possibly on the Baker Hughes, which will be at 6 o'clock London time, or we'll do it next week as we come into Monday and Tuesday, or potentially on FOMC. But we're in a bit of a consolidation here on light sweet crude oil. So around this zone, it's more challenging because we're just waiting really oil to make a decision. But I see opportunities for a breakout in either direction, particularly if we break through. You've got weekly lows here. Particularly, you can see this consolidation a bit better on the the larger time frames, you can see if we were to break through this whole period of consolidation, then oil should really get going and potentially continue its downward trend. And that would also confluence with some other market correlations we're seeing at the moment. But if we break through around the last week's worth of lows here after this consolidation, that should have a significant move. We're also keeping an eye out for last week's highs here as well. A breach of that zone, we should get some momentum to the upside. So it's decision time for oil. If we go over and have a look at Brent crude oil, Brent crude oil actually broke through its pennant. You can see we had a pennant on this. It did break through, so possibly leading oil down here. We've got now a new downward trending channel. Again, oil, gold follow trend channels really well. You can see this really clearly. If you're not having added trend channels on your charts, you're missing a trick here, because you can see very clearly you've got horizontal support and resistance, but very clear trend channels here on Brent crude oil as well. So we're looking at some potential downside from this level here. So we could see we've consolidated a breakdown a little bit low. The only challenge you've got here is that you're going to run into some support on the left side of the chart. So you'd need to be in and out this pretty tight fairly quickly for a sell-off. So I'd rather trade that through copper at the moment and see how this develops this afternoon. I think we might be able to still draw a new pennant on this. We'll have a look how many points we can correlate to now. It's more of a downward trending channel at the moment. So we're just going to await to see a resolution of this. If I just take off these levels, we can put it into a larger time frame just to give you a better idea of the price structure. Yeah, it looks like we could actually break down again here. If we take out the weekly lows, which are about 100 points lower here, then we could really start to build up some momentum to the downside here. Just very quickly take a look at something. It's interesting. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we're coming up to some major zones for retracements as well. So I could see this as, a potential sell-off zone from here if we can just take out the weekly lows here on oil. So we keep an eye on that, definitely. There are opportunities to be had there, but I do like the copper trade at the moment. Now, moving over to the grains, we've got soybeans, which has been breaking down over the last week or so. It's just been channeling quite tightly. It's getting tighter and tighter, this overall channel. You can see that quite clearly here. It's a bit of a wedge for me, actually. So we're waiting a resolution. Now, one point to note is we've got the USDA report coming out just later on today at 5 o'clock London time. So that is bound to provide some volatility. We've got this getting tighter and tighter, the price action here. We're either going to get a big breakout to the upside, or we'll get a big break down here. We are in this from earlier entries just for a sell at the moment. We're looking to take advantage of a lot of clean air below if we do start to break down, because we've got about 5-year lows we're breaching at the moment just on the soybeans chart. You can see that just on the much larger time frames. You haven't really visited these levels since 2009. So we're looking to take advantage of that. But what I would look at here is if we do get a breakout to the upside on soybeans today, I would look at that being sold into potentially. So if we do see a big move to the upside, we'll look to sell into strength if we continue this overall downward trend. But we'll see how that comes out today. We might well just break down even lower. Wheat is also at a decision point, had a pretty big gap once we moved to the new contracts here. We're over into the December contracts and we gapped on that. We've come back up to resistance. So we're just channeling at resistance, potential for a breakout or a break back down. So we're also watching wheat, but all eyes on the USDA report. And also we're just seeing continuation with coffee. It just continues to consolidate at the lower end of its trend channel at the moment. It's been ricocheting between support and resistance for quite some time here. Now, before we go on to the main presentation, I'll just highlight platinum and palladium for you. So platinum, it has been weak over the last couple of days or so. We're definitely back within the support zone. We are tending just to ricochet between support and resistance here on platinum as well. So looking for potential weakness as we go into next week, which is common before FOMC statements as well. On palladium too, palladium, we've just been consolidating for about 10 days here. And again, you've got overhead, quite a clear overhead resistance channel here too, which is being respected. You've also got a bit of a pennant forming here as well. So we have also a supportive consolidation. So we're looking for a nice breakout here along either to the upside or for the sell side. We don't really mind which way it breaks out, but the overall trend is down. So often in these situations, a bearish pennant, when it forms like this, you would expect it to sell off again. Okay, so that's what we'll be looking out for today. Okay, great stuff. So there is an opportunity to trade next week with us when we trade the FOMC statement live. Okay, and it's very likely to be one of the biggest trading opportunities I would say certainly of this quarter, if not potentially of the year. There's so much expectation for this FOMC statement. So what we provide on the live trading room, we go over live analysis, live trading ideas. We also cover live support over the course of that session. We'll be trading the session live with you as well. So very simply, we do actually have an enrollment for this next week. Okay, so you can trade the FOMC with the Gold and Silver Club live. I'll go through details with you. Essentially, we'll be doing enrollment from next Monday, so you can enroll with us from Monday the 14th. You will need to get in touch ASAP because we've got limited time prior to the FOMC statement on Wednesday to get you completely set up. Now, when you do get set up with the Gold and Silver Club, essentially you'll have access to the live trading room. You'll also get access to our private membership academy, which has over 50 hours of trainings on there and training videos, which is really just gold dust. So I would urge you to get in touch ASAP if you would like to take advantage of this opportunity next week. We will be providing all the entries, exits and so forth that we are taking during that session. So all you need to do is go to www.jointhegoldensilverclub.com. Enrollment is by application only, so I'm just going to put that into the chat for you. Just make it very straightforward. Okay, so it's just www.jointhegoldensilverclub.com. If you have any issues with that at all, it's just on the link. Very rarely that we do, but if you do, you just want to email us directly, just email us at office@thegoldensilverclub.com. Okay, so either is fine. Preference for jointhegoldensilverclub.com, but you can use both. And again, we'll be doing enrollments on Monday next week. So all you need to do to enroll is go to that link. You'll have a very straightforward application to fill out. And from there, we'll get in touch with you ASAP and get you set up. And of course, we look forward then to welcoming you to the Gold and Silver Club. Okay, fantastic. So that brings us to end of today's session, guys. So I see some good opportunities as we come into this afternoon. So it's been great to have you guys back here again. So Chris, have a very good one. Edward, Igor, John, Mark, Matt Jazz, Tico, Andreas, Andy, Marnia, and T1. Look forward to hear from you. Have a great weekend. Good trading for today, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, take care, guys, and thank you to Adinda, of course, for hosting today's session. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.